who stood by Sabrina's story here because we trusted the work that had been done are also now in a position of needing to kind of have a say.
I think a lot of things are up for dispute in this incident. What is not up for dispute is what we know about false rape accusations, which is that between 2 and 8% of accusations are false, which means between 92 and 98% of allegations are accurate. And what is also not up for dispute is that this is going to have a chilling effect. This is going to make it harder for every person who has been raped, for the next thousands of people who have been raped, to come forward and tell their story and to be deemed trustworthy when they do. What this incident is going to do is make it easier for rapists to get away with rape.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this has been a big issue. Of course, the discredited story at the University of Virginia. And joining us now is William Jacobson, clinical professor of law and director of the Securities Law Clinic at Cornell University Law School. I welcome you, sir.
Great. Thanks for having me here.
You wrote a great piece at National Review, Mothers Must Speak Up for Their Sons on Campus. And first of all, explain to me why it is that if someone claims a crime has been committed against them, like rape on a college campus, why they don't call 911 and the police take over? I don't get that.
Well, that's the big mystery here. We've set up an entire campus structure built around keeping the police out of crimes. These are crimes. If someone was raped, it's a serious felony. The police should be called and it should be prosecuted. But the problem is things have become so politicized on campus, and there's this radical feminist agenda that isn't really interested in prosecuting the criminal. It's interested in destroying what they call the patriarchy. Yep. It's in changing society, and therefore you have a campus structure that's not meant to adjudicate guilt of criminals.
Right, and if you call the police and it goes through the criminal justice system process, if you will, then all of a sudden you're putting your hand, and I'm not saying women don't get raped on campus, and anybody who rapes somebody on campus should have it cut off, in my view, okay? So I'm not diminishing that. But as you well know, this claim put forth by Obama, repeated by Obama and more, that 20% of all women on college campuses are raped is insane. And they've, on campus, they're able to expand that definition to include such innocuous, ridiculous things that would never hold up with the police, correct?
That's right. And the 20% statistic has been debunked so many times, it's almost incredible.
Even by the author of the survey.
That's right. The author of the survey just came out and said, you can't really extrapolate from what we've done.
It was 2 schools, it was online, and he said it's not a representation of anything.
No, because only the people who wanted to respond responded.
Right.
So it's not a professional poll, it's not a scientific survey. And what you have is very right, an expansion. We are now in the phase of what they call yes means yes. So it used to be traditionally no meant no. And that's the traditional definition of overcoming somebody's will, exerting force if they are incapacitated. That is no longer the standard. Now you could have 2 people who are completely consensual, but one of them later on has regrets and says, well, I didn't give informed consent.
I didn't say yes.
I didn't say yes.
Literally.
I didn't literally say yes.
And isn't that the law in California now?
That's the law in California, and it's coming to a campus near you because most colleges, I think New York State SUNY system has adopted that standard. It's a crazy standard. So 2 people, neither of whom at the time think anything is going wrong, one of them actually can bring charges on campus.
And I'm afraid to even ask this for fear of being labeled whatever. What about the young men? What about the boys on campus, as your column speaks to? I have a son. He's 15. I mean, what's his future on campus?
Well, men are very much at risk of false accusations. And remember, it's not just false accusations of felonies, of rape. It's false accusations of unwanted contact. So if a man now leans over to kiss a woman, she says, no, stop. That's now an assault. That was never viewed as an assault. Or if a woman leans over to a man. Let's be fair here. But the reality is it's only going to get prosecuted in one direction. Absolutely. And any man on campus is at risk.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk a little bit about another issue here, and that is the Ferguson protests and the reports that you address that anti-Israeli forces have at times infiltrated those protests and this whole thing to try to gain a foothold.
Right. One of the great untold stories of the Ferguson riots is that there was systematic agitation by anti-Israeli activists who went into Ferguson and tried to make a connection between Ferguson and what they say is going on in what they call Palestine. And you look at it and you say, that's crazy. What does one have to do with the other? And it all starts from a bunch of lies. One of the lies they spread is that Israel trained the Ferguson police force in riot control methods. In fact, what happened is a single St. Louis County police commissioner several years ago went to a one-week training in Israel along with hundreds of other police forces. And so what they try to do is they try to gin up animosity towards Israel on issues that don't pertain to it.
Well, welcome to the rest of the world. I guess they're just adapting what the rest of the world does on every other level. William Jacobson, great to talk to you.
Great, thank you for having me.
Please come back. All right, folks, when we come back, Hank Scheinkampf, Democratic strategist and Newsmax analyst. Don't miss it.